Triangle growing so quickly, Raleigh-Durham International Airport is growing too. And this year we've seen more connections and direct flights coming into and leaving out of RDU. And there are a lot of projects in the works to allow the airport to keep up with more traffic. So this morning we're very grateful to be joined by Michael Landgut, the CEO and president of RDU, to kind of tell us more about that. So first off, thank you for stopping by this morning.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you inviting me here today.
Yeah, we're excited to learn more about some of these projects. So help me better understand why the airport has all these projects in the works. We're getting ready for more growth.
Yeah, if you look at what happened in 2023, we had a record employment level, record traffic, 22% increase in overall customers in 22, another 5% in the 24 timeframe. So we've seen almost 30% increase in customers. And as we look towards the future, we see continued positive growth. With that, it's going to require us to continue to make investments. So we're well underway for a $2.5 billion infrastructure program to improve the overall services for our customers.
And so we'll drill down in just a moment what some of those projects look like, but what's the timeline for overall completion here? Do we kind of have an idea of when this could all be done?
Yeah, so that timeline's about 7 to 10 years.
Okay.
Some projects probably within a 5-year window, but most of it will be done within a 10-year time frame.
Okay, so there might be some growing pains between now and then. Anytime
you're trying to make some improvements, especially when you're trying to operate a very busy airport, could be some growing pains, but our team's going to try to do a very good job of trying to communicate and let the customers know. Make sure you're watching ABC 11, you'll get an update in terms of what we're doing on from a construction and how you can try to avoid delays. But again, pack your patience, give yourself a little bit of extra time here, so make sure you can get through parking, get through security, your bags checked, and remember, most airlines start boarding about 40 minutes before they take off. So think about that when you're making your plans to fly out of RDU.
Yeah, certainly some good advice.
Yeah.
Let's walk over so we can get a better look at some of these projects that are taking place here. So this is obviously, you know, a view of one side of the airport.
Love the picture.
But so can you kind of talk to me about some of the projects that are coming up that people are going to notice?
Yeah, if you kind of look in the background, you can barely make this out, but you see a lot of earth that's being moved back here. Mm-hmm. That's one of our signature projects. So that winds up being what we'll call 5 left, 2, 3 right, which are our primary runway. So if you were sitting in Terminal 2 looking out to the airfield, that is our longest runway, our 10,000-foot runway. You can kind of see it here as they're kind of getting you oriented. It's kind of on the top of the screen itself.
Sure.
We're kind of rotating a little bit, but that's okay. But that runway is going to cost us about $1 billion to build. And
okay.
so, Mike, why would we build $1 billion? First of all, the current runway is near its end of life. It was built in 1985 and really needs to be replaced. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to push that runway out so we can build an expansion at Terminal 2.
Okay.
We can't add additional gates because those gates all have to be built out towards the runway. So they become an obstruction unless I move the runway. So the runway is key. About $1 billion there. The next program is going to be our Terminal 2 modernization. So if you look at this facility here, we're going to do a couple things. First of all, we're going to take this north portion of the terminal, we're going to kick it out towards the north.
Okay. We're
going to take the southern portion, we're going to kick it out to the south. Why are we doing that? We want to add additional ticket counters. With all the growth, we've run out of ticket counters. And we run out of ticket counters, you can't continue to recruit additional service into the market at the end of the day.
Right.
With that, we're also going to add additional security checkpoint lanes kind of on the south portion of this, because what we want our customers to be able to do is to have world-class airport experience. This means getting through security and having adequate security lanes. And then the last thing we're going to do in this building is in this section right about in through here for those of you that fly international. Mm-hmm. And we have 14 international destinations, and I see us continue to grow in that area with more international. Is you've got to come through what they call a federal inspection station. Okay. So we really need to widen that up, make that larger to allow more customers to actually come through there so we can continue to recruit. This program alone is about $750 million, $750 million. Wow. We'll make an investment improving the services for our customers. And then the last one that most customers will probably, this will touch them the most.
Yeah.
It's going to be John Brantley Boulevard, named after former John Brantley, who's recently passed away. Mm-hmm. We'll go to a memorial service today to pay our respects. But this roadway system right now, coming through here, kind of wraps around and comes between T2 and T1. One of the things we find is this merging of traffic. So if you're leaving from T1, you have to cross over 3 lanes of traffic, and if you're going to T2, you've got to cross over. So this weaving, we want to take this out.
Okay.
The other thing that's going to be important to us, if we get the photograph back,
we will.
Excellent,
yeah.
is what we call this Bridge B. And you might not notice it, but when you come to the terminal itself, there's actually an earthen embankment that the road is built on that gets you up to the upper level.
Okay.
I've got to take it out. This building was designed when we had a hub, which meant most of the customers were flowing through here, not really driving here. It's the complete opposite today. The growth has been so profound in our community, people are driving to the airport, which means I'm going to have to reconstruct.
Sure.
What does that mean? That means we're going to have to find another way to get our customers in, probably through our parking facility, to get into that upper level. It's going to create a little bit of challenge, but we're going to try to do a very good job of communicating with the public, keeping them informed. So make sure you're going to the website, looking at the local news like ABC 11. They will keep you informed. You probably won't see this till late fall, any of these types of disruptions, but the end product's going to be great. It's going to provide lots more capacity. This is designed for our 2050. It'll get you all the way out to 2050 with additional gates at Terminal 2 and Terminal 1. This roadway system should be able to support that from a transportation standpoint. And the last piece, if that wasn't enough, right? We're going to put what we call a ground transportation center at the bottom floor of the parking garage.
Okay.
Why is that so important? Well, what happened in 2014, 2015? Uber and Lyft arrived on our terminal, and it was never designed to handle all that ground transportation. So what we want to do is we want to put it in the facility itself to make it very convenient for our customers. Uber, Lyft, black car limousine, any type of commercial transportation will go there. And the only thing hitting those curbs are going to be you dropping off grandma or picking your mother up for Mother's Day, which we've got a record weekend coming up this weekend.